We back. New Game in Order. This is our third segment in our podcast for today, and we are hitting up The Witcher 3. Okay, now apparently Polygon will have the link in the description below. There's an article talking about Witcher 3 team on downgrade accusations. Maybe we shouldn't have shown this trailer. So basically, Nelson and I were having a discussion, and I'm gonna be a little bit transparent. I was frustrated with, I guess, some requests from some fans, and we did put some things out there in terms of we're still gonna make good on it, but if you say something, people are gonna hold you to it. You know what I mean? Now with us, we're gonna hold true because me, integrity, being in the army, that's a big thing for me. So if I say we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it. Now with the developers of The Witcher, they showed a trailer, and now the game comes out, and they're saying, oh, the game was downgraded, and that's not. We're playing something that wasn't really, I guess, a false advertisement, if it falls into that category. But since Noop made the request during the intermission to go first, I'm gonna give him the floor, and Noop, take it away.
Number one, I'm not 100% sure, but if y'all go back and look at the trailer, I'm pretty sure in the corner it says game still in development. I'm pretty sure. Okay. It either says that or it says actual gameplay footage. I don't remember. But the thing is this, y'all. It's a trailer. You know what I mean? You got to understand that a trailer, whatever. The trailer is going to be optimized to show the best possible version of the game. I always take trailers as them being in development still. And they said, I read the entire statement because I saw it. Because these guys put out quality products. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people complaining, talking about graphics. You don't even play action RPGs. You just bought it because it's the newest game to come out and you want to compare it to the PS4, the Xbox One. So shut the hell up, because this is probably your first Witcher game when there's 3 in the series. But anyway, they said, in theory they put some things together that they thought would work. So they put the trailer out because it appeared as if it would work. What they were building would work. But they said in actual practice, the game was so massive and there's so much they couldn't just account for it. It didn't turn out well. And they said, they admitted, they said the console versions are what held them back. Because with a PC, you have the upgradability, you have more, a wider variety of options. Whereas a console, hey, this is the ceiling. You go past the ceiling, it's gonna stutter, it's gonna whatever. So they had to keep it playable and manageable for the consoles, and for that, yes, it took a hit. So it's like, what do y'all want? Do y'all want a game that looks pretty but plays like crap, or do you want a game that still looks good
and stable?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Y'all act like if a game doesn't have the best graphics, it's bad. Like even Angry Joe said, Killzone on PS4 was at one point in time the best looking game on next gen. The Order, one of the best looking games on next gen. But look at them now. No one's talking about them. No one cares. They weren't great games according to reviewers. But you have a great game, and just because we're talking about graphics, y'all. Seriously, you gonna complain about graphics of all things? Like that should be the least of your concerns. Is the game playable? Is it enjoyable? Okay. That's all I gotta say about that. Get off those developers back. If you don't develop games, you don't understand coding and all that. Get off of them, yo.
What the heck? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this.
All right. All right. Let's see Playboy. He could go next, and then I'll have the missile go next.
What he said, because no cinematics are rendered movies. That is not, and we should be mindful enough. That is not going to be in-game footage. Those trailers and previews are rendered CGI, like
just like the UFC game.
What Blizzard does for WoW and Diablo and oh shit, what's the game called? The fucking RTS game. Oh god, StarCraft. Those are some extraordinarily beautiful cinematic trailers.
Yes, sir.
You do not see that in game play at all. And people need to be mindful. stop acting like little kids. I saw it on game trailers or blah 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 blah, and now it don't look right on my minimum grade PC. Jesus Christ! Come on now, you should know better.
I like that. I like that. And you know, the funny thing I was talking about on the 360, there was one E3 that there was 360 and the PS3. They showed Chuck Liddell fighting somebody, and man, that looked beast. I was like, oh my god, like Chuck Liddell got kicked and you saw the sweat and he was just wobbling, and then when you get to the game it looked like robotic Tekken. Like, wait a minute, like this is not what I saw, you know? So that's one thing with the developers. They should say, hey, proof of concept. Yes, a game is in development, but I guess some folks, you gotta really drill it in, like, hey, this game may not look like this by the time it comes out. Just be honest.
I'm gonna pull up that video and see if it. I think it says.
Yeah. So Demizo, you have the floor. What are your thoughts on The Witcher being being accused of downgrading?
It's more so with this latest generation of instant gratification gamers as opposed to our generation. God damn, I feel fucking old saying that, but
there's just a big separation.
It's like,
and I'm older than Demizo.
By like several months with the fucking dude.
Alright, go ahead.
But it's like these kids don't get it through their heads that what they're seeing at E3 and GDC and Gamescom and the Japanese Game Developers Conference and the Germany Conference and PAX, what they're seeing is trailers to get you hyped for the game. These games are like several months out or years away. The game is not going to look like that when it's done. It just boggles my mind that this is where we are in this stage of our gaming lives, and it's annoying as fuck to go on.
But Demizo, let me ask you something real quick. Will there ever be a time when the trailers would be true to the games?
No.
Okay. All right, continue your point. I just want to ask that so those who check this out on YouTube and those who are checking us out live, it's like, okay, that's a reality. It's not going to look like the final product. Look, Street Fighter 5. You know what I mean? By the time that game comes out, it's not going to look like that, you know?
Because, like, people need to understand, like, what they do when they begin these development of these games is they program the game for the highest possible specs that it can possibly be at. Like, the top of the top of the top of the line, like, hardware, where if you want the game to look like that, you're going to be spending upwards of $10,000 at least.
Yeah, and that's what I tell you, all you graphic whores and stuff. Y'all need to get PCs. If you're a console gamer and you're complaining about graphics, you need to get a PC straight, because that's where it's at graphically.
Like, that's the thing. If you're just that much into graphical fidelity and you have that much disposable income, PC is where you need to be at, because let's be real here. Like, a $350 piece of hardware in the Xbox One and a $400 piece of hardware in the PlayStation 4, that technology in terms of PC standards is like mid-grade. It truly is, because my PC right now is more powerful than the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I have an octa-core 4 gigahertz with 16 gig of memory, and my graphics card is 3 gig GDDR5.
That
totally outperforms the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One by leaps and bounds. I wouldn't have to upgrade my PC for like several years before I start not being able to run stuff on ultra high settings.
Okay.
But it's like, come on, people, realize the technology, what you're getting into. If you're gonna complain about graphics, learn the technology, understand what you're getting, have the disposable income to be able to complain about it.
And you know what?
Get on YouTube, because it's not hard. Like, we said, and I'm gonna shut up after this, 'cause I'm talking too much. But we said in another podcast that people buy consoles because, and I said it too a while ago, It's easy, you know, you buy it, you're done. It's set up, it's plug and play. PCs are getting like that now too. They market them like when you go on these websites, there's a section called gaming PCs. It's nothing to go in there and just get a basic game PC already built. Yes, it's cheaper for you to build it on your own, but they have some pre-made for people like you just getting into. For some people just getting into it, and you can buy them like that.
Okay, and with that, I want to give Demizzle dap for his last statement. For those fanboys, if graphics mean that much to you between Xbox and PlayStation and all that other stuff, get a freaking PC and shut up. Anyway, Shinwar, what are your thoughts on, you know, developers putting a game out and then it's not looking like what they presented?
I mean, we see this all the time.
Killzone.
Wow, damn. Axe tool.
Actually, even KI when they were pushing it out, what was that? 2 years ago, E3. That was actually running on the PC. But it still looks nice. Still actually looks almost the same.
Well, and Killer Instinct's defense, like they've actually upgraded the graphics since like over the course of
its development.
Yeah, like because the game is not complete, so they've been tweaking it and updating it, like in the 2 years that it's been out. So
and it looks way better than that 360 beta or that alpha. I mean, wow, jeez, it was crazy.
It looks way better than what it did when it came out in November of 2013 when it debuted it with the first 6 characters. It looks way better than that. Yeah. So
Killer Instinct is impressive, and MKX is no far cry either. You know, so I will say, you know, for those 2 games, it kind of stayed close to what they were trying to push. You know, but Shinwar, go ahead.
No, so I mean, we see this all the time. Even what game was that Noop put us on? The Ubisoft game.
Which one?
Was it
Watch
Ubisoft? No, not Watch Dogs. The Division. That went through a couple changes, and I think it still even got pushed back again.
Yeah.
So you know, we see it all the time. My whole thing is, if you're changing it up graphically and all that, just make sure it looks better than what you know. Yeah, because even Street Fighter 5, same thing. They even made changes already. Yeah. With the shading and some of the colors. So that's the way.
Yeah, it's not as bright as it was initially put out there.
Yeah.
But you see, remember when Street Fighter 4 was coming out and how Ryu had the big jaw and they looked like real goofy, and then over time they just adjusted the models, the coloring, and all that.
But here's the thing: Street Fighter 5 so far is starting to look like 4. I don't know if you noticed it. Look at the way their jaws are. They have that big blocky jaw.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about that. I hope it looks good. Like when they first debuted, it was looking pretty nice, and we knew that it still had work to have it to be done on. But when they released that M. Bison trailer, it looked good, but you can still see remnants of 4 in there. So
okay. Yeah. All right, so Nelson, bring us home. What are your thoughts on Witcher supposedly, you know, being downgraded in terms of quality?
All right, now let me ask you a question. Who made this official post?
I put that there.
No, I mean like the article you grabbed it from.
Oh, hold on, let me pull that up. That was from Polygon and what was it? Eurogamer?
Polygon and Eurogamer.
Yeah, Eurogamer.
Yeah.
Eurogamer.
Okay, so let me just go on record and say, are you guys putting something that is based on your opinions into actual factual thesis? Are you basically telling me that the game is downgraded? Yet when my friend just came over the other day with The Witcher 3 on his laptop and I was watching the game, it doesn't look downgraded to me, unless if you guys are just so caught up in the fact that you saw a trailer and got disbelief in thinking that was actual gameplay footage. I mean, shit, I'm not saying like, oh, I watched Final Fantasy VIII with that cinematic trailer that they had in 1999, and I didn't expect that to be in the game.
Yeah, but Nelson, they did say on record to Eurogamer that they did change the shader or the renderer.
I get that, but
yeah, after the VGX presentation.
But here's the thing, though: if you're not the developer, if you don't work for the company, shut the fuck up. I do not care because one, you're still gonna buy the game. For one. And two,
you already bought the game.
Exactly. And they came out with a recent patch for supposed minor little tune-ups. That's not drastic tune-ups. You're not even still going to see the fucking difference.
But Nelson, they apologized. They said, I'm deeply sorry for that, and we're discussing how we can make it up to the fans.
No, see, to me, that's very fucked up, because it took them a massively long time to make this fucking game, and they only showed it in Germany from that point on.
Yeah, it was one bad trailer that they showed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
then I think they should be forgiven for it. You know, like,
and the demos, all the tech demos was based all in Germany for the specific reason that it was stationed out there to be in development. And they was afraid of all the people in America instantly judging things, as they always fucking do. It's a game. If you care about the graphics, if that's the case, rewind, I say, about like 9 podcasts ago when we talk about virtual reality and going to Japan and going into sex parlors and watching 3D rendered girls of your fucking choosing. Do that then if you care about graphics so fucking much. Yeah. And don't sit there and complain about a game that you're still gonna love anyways. It's a good game. It's very well polished. It came a very long way from The Witcher 2. So...
Even from The Witcher 1.
Yeah.
That still have.
Now, let me ask you, with the Witcher series, how long, like, in essence, on a playthrough, how long does it take to complete one of the a Witcher game?
40 to 50 hours.
Yeah,
that's if you just do straight story. Don't do none of the side quests. You do straight story. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Side quests can take you anywhere depending on expansions and DLC and such. It could take you anywhere from 300 to 400 hours plus. Because there's a lot of micro quests that happens in the game world drastically depending on the course of action that you take upon the game.
Kind of like a Fable thing, like what you do will affect
some effect like that.
And also, there's for you, I guess this is coming from, if I'm not mistaken, the console fanboys and whatnot, because with the Witcher series, we have modders. You know, every game, every PC game, you have this community of modders who will look at the game and make better renderers, better little tweaks here and there that just make the game even more spectacular. That's for us PC Master Race people, but I don't know about you console guys. But
MIC Playboy, I just want to reply to Black Dragon, and he says, I'm all for sell me what you show me. Just keep it like, don't advertise Jordans and then they're Walmart sneakers. You know what I mean? That's a funny analogy. I like that. Black Dragon.
That is a good analogy. I can see where he's coming from.
This is the flip side.
Hold on, there's too many people talking. Stop with the interruptions. Playboy go first, then Noob.
But on the flip side, I blame all the conventions like E3, the video game awards, all these tech conventions and whatnot, because these developers and companies go there to quote unquote generate buzz. When you generate buzz, you can go to your shareholders and say, look at our social media. People are craving for this game. Give us millions to make it. You see, that's and I see where Black Dragon is coming from.
Okay, and Noob, you were gonna say something?
Number one, honestly, I think, and this is kind of radical, I think they need to have a gaming conference, and it doesn't have to be E3 size, but they need to have one per quarter to give guys time to actually be prepared. Because the thing is this, E3 is quote unquote it. Say, they want to do a quote unquote realistic trailer using what they have built in the game instead of giving you a hypothetical trailer. If it looks like crap, you lose all your momentum. Or it looks like crap, we don't show up, we miss out on that press. Or we put out the render trailer and then we get a bunch of flack when the game comes out. But it's like you can't win for losing. However, if you separate it, like still have E3, let's say you do one conference in the spring, one in the fall or /winter, and you have E3, those developers who might not have been ready at E3, they might be ready in that fall session or that spring session to showcase the game, because that's a bunch of huge promotion at E3, and it's a lot of pressure on you to show and prove.
But
it's hit or miss in this industry.
Yeah, they do have other conferences. You know, they have the GDC, you have PAX, you have different things like Comic-Con. You know, they have a lot of venues. Tokyo Game Show. Like, they have a lot of opportunities to come out strong. But E3 is like the mega thing where, you know, it's like the Super Bowl. Like, and I can understand the pressure they put themselves under. But you know what? If they had to tell their investors, like, hey, we're not ready, you know, hey, we're not ready, you know, but it's about like, hey, we gotta put it out at this time, and we gotta generate that buzz like NYC Playboy was talking about, and then it's like you can't win for losing, like you said, Noop. It makes a perfectly good point. But anybody? Well, hold on. I was finished with Capcom after Street Fighter. All right, that was Black Dragon. But anybody else have anything they want to add before we conclude this topic?
Like, I have something to add about the seasonal conferences. Like, I think that's kind of a bad idea, simply because, like, in this day and age, if you just have, like, okay, we're gonna have the major one at spring, and then the major one in summer, and then the major one in the fall, and the major one in the winter. Like, in this day and age where we're so inundated with information, if you don't have all these smaller conferences like PAX East and PAX West and the Germany one and the Japanese gamer developer, then like you lose your buzz. You lose, like, people stop caring about your game because they don't have that constant information, you know?
Well, I'm not saying eliminate the other ones, but I'm saying, like, I don't think they're on the scale of E3. I would, even if E3, if they had it like, you know, part 1, part 2, and they say, okay, you know, in this showcase, these are the companies that are going to show up and showcase their games, and then you have something to look forward to in the fall, because once E3 is over, you pick the games or companies that you're interested in, and then you track them on your own individually. It's really hard to find, you know, that next conference, because there's a lot of these other conferences that I don't watch because I'm just not interested in anybody that's there. But shut up, yo. I mean, it was just, like I said, it was just a thought. So.
But then you have the individual ones that Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo do, and then you have EA's conference, and then you have Samsung's conference, and you have Bethesda Soft's conference. You have all these conferences, so.
Yeah, there's an opportunity. And going to the chat, Black Dragon 79 said, delay my game, get it correct. You know, I don't want to download 100 gigs of patches and whatnot. That's what Rocksteady is doing with Arkham Knight. You know what I mean? That game was
Creed Unity.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was on that's on the other spectrum where they got it all wrong, but Rocksteady is doing it all right with Arkham Knight. At least they delayed it till, you know, next month, so that they can get everything, you know, in order, because that's Rocksteady's last Batman game. You know what I mean? So they're gonna go out with a bang, and it's gonna be done right before, you know, because that can ruin their reputation once they're done with this. You know what I mean? So it remains to be seen.
But Witcher 3 was delayed for a year. It's supposed to come out last year. It was delayed for a year. And you see after a year delay, you know, look what happened. You still have people complaining.
Yeah, but we're in an age of the gaming world, like and it's the, like Nelson used to say back in the day, the 09ers, who they're different from us. You know what I mean? We're pleased by simple things like 8-bit, you know, Nintendo's 16-bit, 32-bit. You know what I mean? For them, this is all they know: graphics. Because
we know gameplay.
Because we didn't have the luxury of like, oh man, you know, you miss one pixel. Who cares? At least the game played, you know? And so, I mean, it's what it is. We're in a different era where the smallest thing they will complain about. Imagine if you take these kids and send them back in time, Back to the Future style, and have them be content with Excite Bike, Kung Fu, Duck Hunt, freaking Sonic
RC Pro Am.
You know what I mean? Or you know, Super Off Road or Castlevania. You know,
or
like,
the handhelds with the pre-rendered background sticker where you had the black dot frame characters with the same animations, yo. You remember that, yo?
I had Gauntlet like that.
Or the Game Boy with the pickle juice background screen, yo.
Yeah, well, I can't even believe he said that. I can't.
Guys, you just told the world how old we are.
Oh, but I'm just saying, like, we were content with the limitations of technology. So when we see these graphics, and it's cool, you know what I mean? But when that becomes the sole purpose of people complaining, buying games, that means that it's gone to shit. And no matter what, there will always be that heckling, complaining, and the companies can never get it right because they're gonna complain about the smallest things. Now, if it's something glaring, that's a whole different story. Like gems and pay to play, stupid stuff. Yeah. You know, piecing out games, that's something else. But as long as the game plays, that's the most important. You know, so with that, I just wanted to bring the segment to a close because it's running overtime. But for our YouTube folks, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Leave your comments below. I'll have a link to the article in the description. And with that, for those who are checking us out live, shout out to you guys. You're going to get the intermission stuff. And with that, this segment is concluded. We're going to probably do 2 more segments. The last one will be the PSA, so stay tuned and check us out.